mana kwa ba Dennis Bokodie
Nyankopodum divine selection.
The body ase. Congratulations so.
Oh, I have a dase. In fact, Nasema Nyankopodi dikai. Na fi informa Mpensenpensenmu na Adom Dankwa Ododa Ghana for the Oman national say omo ye nchechire. Say yeto nsa fro say bebo na infant teacher Oman brofum ye say a privilege ene yana anamboa.
Ta. Yeto nsa fro say bebo na ze bedibi.
Bebo
aza.
Oman na ye say teacher no. Teacher na de aboa enchimba.
Oh, okay.
See, it's a privilege say yes opportunity to say bebo. Then you that teacher Oman na yin na ye pese hu no going into the future.
And the position be near the amount.
Oh, Mpensenpensenmu na yenhwe local government and the decentralization ehonsam.
Local government
and the decentralization ehonsam.
Wow. Yeah. Until we are Minister of State and answer saying
me presidential staff, me a director responsible for local government decentralization at the office of the president.
Director responsible.
Yeah.
Let's say Honorable Damboche
at the office of the president.
Honorable Damboche Shawase.
Debbie. Honorable Damboche a sector minister.
Oh, Debbie.
Me as a betty don't.
Oh, na me Mpensenpensenmu asienti na me bisa.
Medjuma ide ahye me sana mechirewi.
Nti buya adwuma be.
Wa omampeni. Na maboa the minister at the local government ministry. Na ode aye na adwuma with the local government sector.
Nti dia na obeye.
Oh, say if any say local government ministry and a local government sector no wo mandate. Say e be hwe na aboa na ya chiche mantem nyuma no. So I just say na enye tintim e wo omanum. Nti mandate na local government minister wono. Sa mandate na meboa no na e dey adwuma no.
Oh, za. Oh, okay. Until Obeko around a monitor project so in the various municipalities and MMDCs
and so many others.
Sir. Yeah. And only our post so.
And any case adwuma na e be na dey bo man na post na essential here.
Nti mba job start here adwuma da ben.
Yami adoma adwada.
O say?
Yami adoma adwada.
Adwada now start here adwuma. Oh really? Adwada ya. No appointment take effect. Wow. Oh, okay. It is well. And nobody has say, but one case going into that office, then that one is so. Oh,
I think say the da of Ampeni Nana Dankwa Kufuor any so. Any the sector minister any so ena yakwakobwa. Na dey enti at the end of the day, I'm saying you to me so Ampeni Nana Dankwa Kufuor when it comes to a local government sector now, or did they need this over here? He even went ahead to sit with Senka. He between a tour about MMDCs, Wabua Ameya Yatse, about 6 new regions. Let's say the Abeka. Sano Maninaye or no Nebutaya or what's over here now. Amembono abeni pano because that is the essence of local government. Say amembono abeni pano.
Okay.
It's what we say in Sweden here and not yet the bigger picture now. The Akenyina eshesa bigger picture them. And see say not doing this over here now. Amembo abeni omanfo there. Na yeso pese say o si school dan ya. Etumi kwa na kwhye tokro bi emu no bi etumi nya school ni bi ko. Say oye akwan ya etumi kwa na kwhye tokro bi na akwan eko bebia so oye hospital so etumi ko bebia enti sa dwumedi ne yenso hwehwe na ya bo no na sa ni so de hu netumi abem.
Well, sir, it's about 2 minutes to the top of the hour. Dennis Miracle, the former MC, Equiapem North.
Ekropone capital.
That's right, Ekropone capital, former MC. But Dennis, where the post, pal?
And your post, no, ya ye Juma Boagana. And no, is here more than more calm as post.
When I say a position, and your position,
mean position, Shadan here, Missa.
Hey, to be MC at your age, and you
say, Sanka me a cleaner cry or at my age, and a dear bois or mine, me Shadan Fansa. To be very sincere with you. And see, Oba me a remember catcher, me post no crown. Send a beer of Moosing Hono, and send a medino. Be a namidi, go ben a horn and a midi go be. You are not midi bencuna, a horn and midi benku, be a namito watching. Me do a mere missing a mako in line, no matter me watching. I think it's not about the position. it is more about what you are contributing to the people. So I just say, it is a mission of Panama, and yeah, about position I could deal with. I feel nothing a man manage. And I say at my age, na me MC Debbie, I have joy and have regrets. The joy is that Australian Power me the policies, the programs we ban maintain wa it me boy and my be a traders, the market women, and business people. It be you know I munduma. So I just say communities are no money basic communities, schools, hospitals, water, road. Between me more. So I just say regrets and so regrets. Even say, oh yes, I know my way now. We are constrained with resources.
Okay.
Into one ha. Nanka community bi won so no komo so mu hia bibi went we anya mo any ade enti those are the critical things for some of us and ye bia say bia so na pana we took out some dem propose they will deliver they are community and the society no critical mind.
Martin say ebusia sese na join ya haya Adom 106.3 FM Dwaso Nsem medindi kwasi asempa ma menchia me brother oye PE master Kosombo International School Francis Asare Kofi Kran. Good morning to you, bro. I hope that Bibi Aboko de Chia wife mame. Why? Bibi Abe fine. Yamenehne it as well. But weekend we mijinem ewa Kosombo Ntimensro kra. I'll see you. Well, I was yam koya nim afe. Dennis unim se kroma issue.
We are issue.
Kroma yesia we are
me no ya dwen.
We are Ghana, yanka Ghana sem. Ghana yeshi. Me
no ya dwen na me say we are issue because has a bar. Yet say yes one yet say na war so it say na war me dia me hu betia ne say be a civil war no ne eno ne be oman ni mu a na aban tu nsem ne you know political disagreement nti na bi omokokontokwa but pass say ye be sorry na oman bi akọ even the few countries oman invade adaka bi wa beto mo si omokọ any rebels be kokuntokwa na terrorists be kokuntokwa but for a whole state to rise up and say yakọ oman foforo so tisi ne hu Russia Ukraine na ye kwakukunkum mo akopem mbro mbeti asem ne I mean for the last almost about how many years 2 or 3 years and so we are a bimba ebida the last time you hu yare bi say almost about 100 years ago na say ya sorry na say eda so any ye DSC afina and who soon so na say ekofem kakra em say we ase be yehye and on mine mu so e be yehye o man ni omududwe azempa ye to ye no me fi China for him so almost about 2 years no mo shut down mo mbie enti ye no omudwede ayeden akofem Europe you procure ni omududwe bebre na as a result of COVID enti omukati production by more than almost about 60%. Afi ne bi mu eguso mu biebie nkakrakra. Almost so I know bedudwe na mo sisi an so mo de ntokwa ne ade asimi. A mo de sanctions ahodo ebe ye no so eniti e affect o manka so mo economies. Enti ye wasembo ne po. Ene utie news UK mo ni US ni Germany mo ni ade fuel prices are triple by 4. What it means is that almost omo production nyama na omo ye ho na ye kotoba Ghana haba beton no. Omo ho ne bo ba be yedin because o no so tofu na boarding and so they manufacture near man. Ovia as a yenso yakwa koto. Intin ke bia phone ye no. Na ke bia ton $500 or ho. Na yakota ba na beton $700. Or no be shasi aton be $700 and $800. Inti ye de ba ha be 1,000. Inti say we are say share o mining be she. And as we work around it to make sure
no, but you have the men to change the situation. You have the men.
What do you mean?
But you have the men. MPP money men no.
But to the point,
you say yes, but you still have the men to do the magic.
The point that I'm making is that
you have the men.
That was the last point I was going to make. I'll cut him.
Yes,
no. On mine, yes, your responsibility, and that's what you say. You've been making sure, say,
yeah,
your best condition. So I just say, now a month for no woman, so or showing your day income. I say, okay, more what's so easy will be a window. If I'm in a fear bonte, but I want to control who control the way inside no more. Until the two, I saw more than our Piaco 3. Now Piaco 4, but who Piaco 4 in an hour show for gauge and so. Then so buffing by see a manage near balance situation. No, and I'm sure say eventually near my BCC.
Well, I was here on the Guta ISU release. Me patrol, ubet me join me on Facebook na fe or comment about we a Guta member. Ubet me so I send your comment mame. Indeed, Guta for Ekasa Efa the dollar CD. Said the Nyoma Econo. In fact, to me say idea how mu drapa. Until you be a we dwadini wo kra ne omaba or $60 e de kwato ne omaba but your frustration wait me match. My activity phone line so na fe wabem. 4 minutes after 10 I Adom 106.3 FM. Dwaso Nsem. Me need kwesi asempa once again. Very special happy birthday in advance and come Apostle Dr. Andrews Labi. Me papa prekope. Ewo akosombo. That is this Saturday, you're celebrating our Dodi World Reception Center, Akosombo, Atano, white and gold. Also for Yejinemupa, the General Overseer, the West City Chapel International. Also for Asumbuin Campa, one out of tea and Mpensenpensenmu Babeduni. And see, when we are here, we celebrate you because indeed you're a man of God. I recall, Emraudi, Koshem Remu Bompa, yes, so for Swama bro. My bread do was ready. But as well, Apostle Dr. Andrews Labi, good morning. I salute you indeed. That's a man of God. I really salute you. Dennis, young koyanim na afe share so when good for way no release no. And see as a government the na moya fam.
I think say like just as we're discussing earlier on as there are external factors at every point in time affect your internal situation. And the issue is not about whether shocks beba, but issue need more of the sort of reaction stakeholders are involved in each of the sectors. And sorry, I dare say America for say I'm banning the importation of Russian crude. So I just say what it means is that immediately it's going to have an effect on the global crude supply. You understand? There are other countries almost sanctions almost paying on Russia. A bit how no need enough oil reserves to say the America for into the sanctions into me oil. It is America for taking that decision. Among us, local economy and effect. Once it begins to have that effect, yes, why any new mudijano? Yes, you be side effects. And see, we should be ready. The mum to say okay, what is critical and say side effects in a bar, a crime bang, and as for mine, every fast one, they are resolving sa issues. And Ramit no be making recommendations. Say, a bear, ye ne Asia for China for the DW. It is a bear cry, yen far Chinese. RMB and Chinese one no embra Dwaso bebree rather than the dollar. It's a recommendation. I mean say my dream watch it because we say obeko China obese san see this normally yes say see this no call dollar. Now the dollar na share ho now they call China and so akwa kodidwa. And see if there's a solution which could be say instead of say obese say call dollar no for say cannot touch Chinese yuan na say akwa kodu China na say no ebeboa now reduces our effect now negative effects now on our CD based on the dollar issue now. Why not? And see, Guta is also an important integral stakeholder in this area. And if they make recommendations, I think Sabine will look at these recommendations.
Is it a recommendation or is it about the promise you make here? And position. Say mobile magic, no. Because at the time, NDC no more power. Muka said the way the rate of depreciation of the CD to dollar and koye as if somebody moba and yadia ebe kokra.
Say unim say fathers no. Yeah, first responsibility and a first promise to your children. And they say bobo mo hobai. Meboa. They may be asemboni bi anto meboa. They can we man atariashe. I know this kind of bakoto meboa. Oba na eduane edi meboa.
Yeah.
Ethiopia. Ope bi amanada meboa. And so mokoda ye no wa man edidi o. Wa sha atare wada. Oda denim ye soya no pa no. Then so ato apra na tete. E dan roof ne tu. So I just say e dan roof ne tu. So na bua kola no. Akola ne se dada na so ka so be bo me ho ban. Dada ma weduane die. Dada ma watare hye. Dada ma wodan di mu. Dada kwa akoda no. No nimsa na dwo no. If who be e friend say from abebo e men so ato e ma dan so ayeden apa.
Let
me make it's a very important point and I want you to avail your mind.
Yes, sure.
Sorry anopa no. Sorry anopa no. Dan is wetu. Obi anim say dan is to be too many. So I just say obi anim say so to be too many. Na mum say so ntoye e ma dan so to ye. E ma humboy en from amboy a. Esesa akwala no etumi kwa hihim. Say so ntoye Emma, a friend is saying, flood in Maya, and says, Aqualani didi, and so shattered, and so da. So I just see it is a yes, run upon us a dino, and so akata, a point that I know dao, at the mupepe, a lock and a pepe, nemum, a colano said, Eguso shadeni mo accomodeno, and you saw teno, now Audrey atetia. Yebema wo papa no we dia akola no hwe na ya betumi ahwe na ya je no nemom se yebeso ya no pa no na akola na didi wa sha atare wonya baby ada na nsuo na toye na dan so tudi a ye ntumi mfa emeka se wo papa no ye den wan bo akola no ho bai de ye critical ne se wo sorry ye na we yi akola na fi atachenim na opa bi de nesi na opa kora be fa so obese ya den abodan no so na fe wadwen se ekwan sei na dan so fa so e paaye until next time ekwan be na me fa so bi a me madam no so the empire and not just another time eja entumi ma embassy fie no. The point that I'm making is that do we admit say there was a pandemic that has never happened in the last 100 years that came in 2020? Do you admit that?
Oh yes, sir. Pandemic, yes.
Was there a pandemic in 2013, 2014, 2015, 2016?
No, there wasn't.
Good. Do you admit say in 2020, 2021 to 2022 latter part there was this war that has been going on even as a cold war in Europe part or now after the Ababe hot war? I affecting our. Do you agree?
Yes, I agree.
Do you agree, say, since 2020 somewhere, April say May, China and then some of the Asian countries closely up on economy? Do you agree it's up to normal me?
I agree.
Good. It is these things we money who whom insuo flood tender some na me dey make no.
Okay.
Akwande we didi.
Okay.
Akwande wa shata we.
And then is my member.
Na me nim say.
My member.
So beto e madano so.
My member. Do you agree say Mokashre say you know how to bring back the economy but obi who amunt me bring it back?
Yes.
Do you agree?
Yes.
So
that is exactly what we are doing.
Doing what?
See, that is exactly what we are doing.
With the city to dollar.
Wait. COVID-19.
There be me, baby.
No, but simple question.
No, COVID in chair.
Exactly. What are you talking about?
But you told us that you know how to revive the economy.
I'm asking you, say COVID-19.
And a good issue. How are you reviving the city to dollar?
I want us to stick to
exactly. Yes.
COVID-19.
And to me, be a question.
COVID-19. Wait, hold on. COVID-19. I'm giving you responses. Responses through the questions. Good.
In the midst of in the midst of COVID, and a mokatre say you know how to bring back the economy. True or false?
That's exactly what the
very good.
Yes.
COVID exactly. Very good.
So what are you saying?
So bring back the economy. Deal with the city to dollar.
Yes, say listen.
Yes.
Within this pandemic period, let's concentrate on saving lives. And I'm the one can no. Listen, please.
Specific question.
No,
Dennis. Meba, I'm asking you specific question. Deal with the answers. It was during COVID, and His Excellency the President, Ekache say, they know how to
that
bring
is not what
back
he
the
said.
economy.
Please listen to what he said. He said that we, as for the economy, we know how to bring it back. What we do not know, please. But why don't you finish? Also, what we do not know. It is some listen. Whilst we are in the pandemic, our job is to save and protect lives.
You were part one of the speech, and you were part two.
Is the part one
over? Part one is part one is in this COVID era. Yenim said you better revive the economy. True or false?
That is part two. That is part two. It is false. It is false. The economy is false.
Okay.
Part two. Part two. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So I'm dealing with part two. Yeah. Part one, yeah. Then.
Part one.
But
maybe it's also part one. I'm asking you to part one. Exactly, but it's true.
Very good. So what I'm saying is, good for Esu. How are you reviving the city to dollar?
And I'm telling you that the COVID now, and no yet fundamental issue now affected these issues. Asia is still closed up. Europe is still operating at 50%. So what are you talking about? No, so the part one is not over, and yet you are jumping to the part two.
Okay.
And that is why when you are making the statement, you refused to mention the part two.
Obviously, good morning. Tell the guy the World Bank is saying the economy was way weak before COVID. How do you respond to this?
See, an economy that was weak before COVID was growing at about 7.6%. An economy that was weak before COVID was paying all of its salaries and paying all of social services to the people of Ghana. An economy that was very weak was ensuring that the citizens of the country are being educated at no cost to them. An economy that was very weak was ensuring that the health insurance of the state was operating and running at no cost to them. An economy that was very weak was ensuring that there was energy to boost and foster productivity in industry. So what are you talking about? The evidence of whether the economy was weak or not was in the services that the government was delivering to the people of Ghana. Into what are you talking about? Do you dispute any of these things that I've told you?
Are you aware? Are you aware, sir? The World Bank is telling Ghana, sir, they should be truthful to Ghanaians about the state of the economy.
I have mentioned the items to you. Which of them do you disprove? Just tell me. Before 2020, did you ever hear which of the months that the government of Ghana couldn't pay salaries? Did you hear which of the months that the government of Ghana decided that a Ghanaian citizen has worked for a year and yet they will pay them for 3 months? This is something that was happening in 2014, 2015.
No.
Did you ever hear?
No, Dennis, that is not the issue.
Oh.
What are Kasari?
Did you ever hear? No, who disputed on Akache?
What are Kasari and
Who disputed on Akache? Did you ever hear? Did you ever hear? Say, in this country, we have nurses and teachers who have graduated from school and yet we are unable to employ and recruit them into the services. Did you ever hear that? Did you ever hear in 2019 or 2020 say yenya kania every 3 days oh my way mu and into industries shut it down mule off workers? Did you ever hear that? If you want to know the evidence of a struggling economy, it is what we experienced and saw in about 4 or 5 years ago. An economy where industries were shutting down because they couldn't afford energy, because the state couldn't afford to buy the necessary fuel to power the energy sector. An economy where the citizens of this country work for a year and yet the state cannot afford to pay them for the entire 1 year, and so they pay them for 3 months. An economy where we have nurses and teachers who have graduated, but the state doesn't have resources and cannot afford to employ and recruit them for them to deliver the services to the people. An economy where we have over 98,000 to 100,000 of our children who are unable to afford senior secondary education because their parents are poor and the state cannot support them. That is a weak economy. Tell me why in 2019 or 2020,
Dennis, maybe a simple question about Guta. And Guta issue release. Because the Mokaino and Yejuma, the CD to dollar. How are you dealing with it practically?
I am glad you have moved from that and you are back to Guta. And I tried to explain to you the Guta situation. Guta statement today. I was trying to pick it. Read it again. Read the BM. I was trying to find it. Read it no. I'm trying to find it. I can't find it. At least I'm glad to say you've moved away from the previous issue.
Now I've not moved away, but it's the same.
Because I've given you the truth. I've given you the fact. You can't dispute any of them.
What is the fact? What is the fact? What is the truth? No, what is the fact? What is the truth?
Did you disprove one that I told you? Disprove one. They are making catch on disprove one.
But you were just giving me a new mess.
And I told you to disprove.
But the point is that
what am I going today?
And your mess.
Didn't you take me to the back to the past? And you know they make past. As in who in now they make past. You tried to create an impression that the World Bank said that even before COVID. I responded to that.
Dennis, you were the one saying that. Now.
You are the one saying that.
You are in power now.
When you went to the past and I brought you the facts that you cannot disprove.
Dennis, no, Dennis, you are in power now. And to be catch me say, at the time there was an economy that was doing this.
And then it was fixed.
Let us not do that comparison.
We'll do it. Because that is the only way you will know whether we are struggling economy or not.
But the point is that
and the economy that is at 1.
That comparison?
Why not? If the economy was at 1 and you move to 10, it is progress, and you must check where you were and where you have gotten to. But you cannot come and tell me, say, you see, when it doesn't favor you, don't compare. When it favors you, go and compare.
You me why now quickly make
when it doesn't favor the argument, then you say don't compare.
No,
but you go to the past. I am telling you that. Listen.
The point is that
Asempa, it is not true. And now also some of you also do a kakra.
No.
Me say, when you referred me to the past,
yes,
and you tried to create an impression that even pre-COVID, it was a struggling economy. It was not in the past. I have given you evidence to prove to you. You say pre-COVID was never a struggling economy, and even now it's not a struggling economy. Of course,
no, but
there are areas that we have challenges.
If it is not, why is Guta complaining?
Did I disprove? I told you that there are areas that are genuine
what are you
genuine
doing about
concerns.
it? So CD to dollar.
There are areas that have
Dennis Miracle Abuaje, CD to dollar. What is government doing about it?
One of the long-term solutions to CD to dollar is the industrialization drive, where we are going to reduce our dependency on imports. Because yet here, senka normally bebree we my way mu, and anka yan kremfia manono yanko bi ehia dollar.
But when him say you fit a crown your ma system.
But we need to solve it, and that's what we are working on now. We need to solve it, and that's what we are working on. And that is why, as a government, we came in with a long-term plan. Because we shouldn't be having this conversation. You shouldn't even feel good to say, oh my, you started crying your man. Why should it be like that?
Okay, but you know, say at the time when there was a regime, now more complaining CD to dollar.
Because and they had no long-term plan.
At the time,
there was no long-term
plan. At the time, no namunim see a crown your mabas. At
that time,
namunim say affected.
In fact, at that time, I can see a coach through that challenge because there was nothing that was justifying depreciation of the city. Of course,
Ghana Union of Traders Association, Guta, 8 March 2022. Also, mankind. Never step by step. Press statement on the depreciation of the cedi. The rapid depreciation of the local currency, the cedi, against the major trading currencies, especially the United States dollar, gives cause for alarm. But you can actually way more, and I'm into us.
We are okay. Say we are too.
No, maybe okay, all right, okay. Now it is taking a heavy toll on our capital and wreaking havoc on businesses in the country, and also increasing financial burden on the consuming public. Okay. From December 2021 to date, our capital has been depleted by about 16%. In December 2021, when the rate of the cedi to a dollar was 6.4, a trader could use 640,000 to buy 100,000 US dollar. Today, as the rate is about 7.6 to a dollar, the same 640,000 can buy only 84,000 US dollars, thereby making a loss of 16,000, which is the 16% depletion. I hope so. I have no way to.
Just as I was trying to explain to you from the scratch, and now when you're listen, near me be anka wekra anka nsese, but near me and I may was a situation. The kind say, no man, I cry. First of all, a dose rodo. And see, as a country, we need a long-term plan to ensure, say, you be reducing your ma and baby, yes, yesika aqua crano. That should be our focus, the kind. And that's what this government has started working on since 2017. As we speak now, I have the list here. Recently, I was even going through it on one of the media houses. There are over 270 factories. A buying facility here is being set up. 108 are operational now. What we need to do is to concentrate in that sector to ensure, say, a lot of these things are traders, imports, you produce. That will be the long-term solution to this thing. And we have shown, say, we are working at that. And we have actually shown that, sir, we have the men and we can deliver. No, we are working on that. It takes a while for you to finally and fully, your friend is saying, show off. Number two, there is a reason why in here, say, Obi at $1,000 ekoto de free China bagana. That's the next month of person sankotos and many view more. Ebi Obi here by $1,200, your friend is saying dollars. They are making it and say, Sika, if you no more motor, your friend is saying fuel, crude, about my way, mono. Endra, okoto $100. Odin yamani bedru yebu okrendu Ghana, yamani na me poswa eba. So sanko credit maybe $130. What it means is that embre biano asomino ye here see the bebre. Nedia $1 na dodo edia kwakodudwa ewa mansan boso. And this is being occasioned by an external factor. An external factor that did not exist at the time I will refer to such statement. No? And let me say, during that time now we'll make reference to such statement. No? That external factor was not present. For example, there was no Russian-Ukrainian war. That is fact. You can decide to ignore it, but that is fact. It was not existent at that time when we realized the management of the city was poor. Number two, there was no COVID, which has affected omo eni omo di dwa for which reason omo hike omo prices enu ti yen so ye here see the bebre anse eni omo tumi di dwa no sa no ma wei na ama pressure abaye dollar no so. And if you make a statement say and I'm mobile na mo say mobile na mo say oh mo there you have the money, it is true. During the time when the dollar was racing towards 4 cedi 5 cedi, these factors were not present until there was no reason why the dollar should have raised to that point. And that is what I gave you the analogy say me feed me ba mama na tariashe na mama ne baby ada ma ye ma femu de na mo say me koda na dwuna me so na edan so pa as a result of a tender and as an earthquake there. And no, you cannot be faulted. Tell me, give me one indicator. And 2013, 2014, 2015, 2016. And all how Becca send there and external major external factors here. Now say $1 ni races are. Give me one. We can give you some. We've given you in 2020, 2021, 2022. Can you give me some in 2014, 2015?
Dennis, do you now
these external factors?
Dennis, do you now believe as a government is not everything that you have control of?
But who has ever said that? Who has ever said it is everything that we have control? Who has ever said that?
So as a government, do you know, sir, it is not everything that you can change?
Why not Casada? Maybe so. Why not Casa?
Maybe so. Question.
I don't know whoever thinks that way.
No, I'm asking you a question. You just provide the answers. Do you know? Okay. So it means MPP government. You can't work the magic and change things overnight.
But who has
external
factors? Why not Casa?
Okay. Now, Dennis, Ahina World Bank at the Maya during COVID.
I don't have the exact figures here. Okay, me and come to buy.
Don't have the exact figures. No, but at least Ahina during COVID. I buy a country Ghana for say.
Okay, me and come to buy. Come to the World Bank figures and come to me a Ministry of Finance, bro.
No, but at least
I don't have it.
Emra COVID buy. Yes, secure Sikano. Ahina mo country Ghana for say. World Bank the man.
New World Bank figure on the man Ghana ever.
Okay.
Okay, me and come to buy pa.
Okay. Dwaso mami.
Maybe you. They have said that's where you know.
Oh, let me talk. Oh, now Kasa.
Azamba, I think I share the concerns of Peter and in Abeja to say it is one of the things that almost everybody in government has been speaking of. In fact, I do follow a lot of the government officials. Everybody is worried. You share keenly what is happening in Europe because you see already now na yeguswa ye COVID ho mpopo ya yenyanku wie na Russia for so de omo de abeka ho and se nyankopa mbem no amboye na se sa issue ye koso Europe are resolving in tema as empire could even be worse. And that is where I think that we need to do a lot of public sensitization and education because me no ka say omo keka say one ha na crude could be $200 per barrel. Now, Zampa, I could do $200 per barrel. Even day, I could do $200 per barrel. Yanto crude view, yanto food view. Yandu no munkani anoma. Your friend say Adom 106.3. And see, we need to put our minds to the situation happening externally. That yen yankasa as a mind, you need control also. Now, yan sana say yako kafe na makofaba. Namo say namo kase mo betumi eno no, but. War na ekos war Russia and Ukraine maybe any to yo but Asia no more close it down here na we friend saying container ba kwa na ton $3,000 and na be do $13,000 but tell me during that time what was happening at that time we need to be truthful to the people. I agree with you, and being truthful to the people is not only on the side of government, it is also on the side of the media and every other person that is involved in educating the people to understand. Say, listen, we find ourselves in times where we need to share ideas like Guta is doing to find a lasting solution to this problem. One of the interventions are buying. One of the interventions are buying the above for the Guta. Obekaya say, "I'm reducing the discounted." We are saying, we say discounted the benchmark values, for goods and vehicles. 30% for goods and 10% for vehicles. Sanoma Wina is meant to ensure a good for Komu in the face of this difficult challenge that is as a result of external factors. Dennis Asundwenka, we wish you well. Monday, Ubra officer, we wish you well. And himself, a young guy, Ubetumi Abu Ejuma, my Ghana. Go and change the situation. Asundwenka.